Hey, what's up, everybody? Oop, I was doing. So I'm going to do this the second time. Um, I've been up since 5:15 this morning. Actually, I woke up before my alarm. I was getting ready for a show. I'm going to pick up my dog, come back here, prepare for the next day of the show tomorrow, and then after that, pack up and start over on Monday. So, who am I? I'm Ross Cessna. You don't know who I am because I suck at presenting. So after 3 years of working on this stuff, after 150 plus hours of YouTube videos and podcasts and all of these things that I've done, I don't really have much to show for it, but experience. The reality is a lot of people work very, very hard and never get anywhere. Uh, I don't think that we have to be stuck forever, and I don't think that we will be stuck forever as long as we keep going. Now, that being said, I'm telling you about all the challenges that I'm facing with not really having a large following. Let me tell you some of the positive things. As a result of the work that I've done this past month of November, I made more money on Etsy for readings than I ever have. I've grown my Facebook more than I ever have. I'm beginning to learn more and more about how to do this stuff, but that came from a lot of suffering and difficulty. But I'm also going to be doing live readings and things of that nature. So if you want to get a free card, you can get a card. If you want to ask me questions, literally creating this for people who are struggling, who want help and guidance on this kind of stuff. I'm making this whole process transparent to show people that even though we've invested a lot of time, sometimes things will still suck. And I'm going to be successful to prove to people that there's value in persevering long after it's comfortable. And although you might have a little bit of success, there's a lot more that's waiting as long as you are willing to keep pushing and keep trying to achieve more. Where I'm at right now is not where I'm always going to be at. And I say that because when I started this whole process, I was coming off the tail end of one of the darkest experiences of my life. And that was relative to substance abuse and mental illness and all this stuff that I'll get into over the course of all of these other videos. I've talked about it at length on the Spiritual Phoenix podcast. You can find that at Spiritual Phoenix Studios on YouTube. You can find the Spiritual Phoenix podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on all of these other channels. The main thing is this. If you're serious about having a business and you're passionate, you can either pay money to move forward, which a lot of people have the option to do. A lot of us don't have the option to do it, so we have to grind. The thing is, you can spend a lot of time and energy grinding and not getting anywhere. So what I'm trying to do with this portion of the content that I'm putting out is helping you save some time by not having to waste 3 years. And I don't feel that I've wasted it. I felt that that was an education and experience that taught me stuff that there was no other way for me to learn. So you can either pay for experience or you can learn the hard way. I'm going to give you the information for free. I've been doing shows for tarot readings for 2 years. You're going to get the sum of my suffering and my mistakes sprinkled in with some wisdom, some dark humor, and my personality, and I'm going to make this something meaningful for me and for you. Ask me your questions, ask me your tarot card questions, and get at me on any major social media platform at Oracle at Mushin. The main ones you will help. I really want to thank you for checking this out, and I really, really do encourage you to reach out and shoot me a text on Twitter or a tweet on Twitter. Oh man, and ask me about a card. Ask me to give you a card, and I'll tweet you back a card that I pull for you. Reach out and engage in this, and I will share whatever information I have with you, just to be a decent human being. This is the last thing I'll share about what my day was like and what the turning point for me is with all of this that I'm talking about. So I spent all of this day working on things to come back and to have a order that I still have to do on Etsy before I go pick up my dog. And the thing is, this. I've done all this all day. I gave away 4 free readings, and I will say this: I got pierogies from banging pierogies from a food cart outside of the Odd Mall show in Canton, Ohio that I was at, and I wish I had the name of that place so I can plug them. Amazing pierogies. And I had one paying customer at the end of the night who paid me $20 for 10 minutes, but it changed his life. Everybody that I read for took something meaningful from it. And that's what's important. And I had a lot of good conversations with the people there that gave me information to really help me wrap my head around what I'm doing wrong with my personal brands. But it also highlighted the things that I'm doing right and things that just need a little bit of tweaking. And that's the thing. You're not going to learn a lot of these principles unless you're in the trenches, and you're going to learn more from making mistakes. I've been listening to Gary Vee's book, Crushing It. Hated Gary Vee at first. There's a lot of good information in there. One of his tips was documenting. Here I am. So anyhow, I don't want to take up any more of your time. It's valuable. I appreciate you listening to this. And if you're, this is the last couple of things I want to say. Future me, remember this moment, because this is the time when you really committed to yourself on a deep level. You doubled down, tripled down, and you said you were going to do it, and you completely changed yourself. Future me, past me, look at how much work you've put in. Look at how hard you've worked from the beginning to get to the confidence that you have right now in this moment. Present me, keep doing what you're doing, because although you're not a success, I shouldn't even say success, because you've been more successful than you ever thought you could be with this in a big way, but you have a long way that you want to go because you have a big dream. Just remember that you're not always going to be here, that things will get better. And for the listeners, if you're trying to build your business, if you're thinking about building your business, do it, stick with it, keep going, and learn, improvise, adapt, and overcome. Ask yourself questions, experiment with content. Just keep creating and keep that spark alive. You're going to have dark days. Find inspirational content to keep you uplifted. You can get all sorts of various audiobooks about success and stuff like that for free from library apps. You don't have to pay anything. One of the things that I would suggest, if you don't have Audible, get Audible. Use your free credit for Crushing It by Gary.